Well, hello, YouTube. Steve Patton with General Patton Bushcraft back with you, friends. Back out in the backyard. I got another recap. I got the official show notes of Alone Season 13, Episode 9, titled Icebound. Stay with me.
Thank you so much for stopping by General Patton's Bushcraft and Self-Reliance on YouTube. I appreciate everything you do for the channel and all your support.
This is Alone Season 13, Episode 9, titled Icebound. This is the World Championships now. They're up there in the Beaufort region. This is the second largest Arctic delta in the world, friends. And you know every show starts with a quote from a famous person. And this famous quote is from Lao Tzu, and it goes like this, quote, "When you realize there is nothing lacking, the world belongs to you," unquote. All right, friends, let's get right into it. It's day 42 now. 5 people remain, and the show starts out with Ziga. It's 25 degrees, and he's sitting in camp eating moose, friends. It's getting colder. Everything covered in snow now. The river's starting to ice over. And as you recall, Ziga brought a shovel. He did not bring a ferro rod. He brought a shovel, which so far it's paying off, friends. He mixes up some clay, and Ziga is building a fireplace with the chimney, friends. And he made the frame out of some willow branches, and he basically weaved a long basket, and then he wrapped it in clay, friends, for his chimney. It's pretty good. Friends, it's starting to get cold. Everybody wants that fireplace inside their shelter. So we saw what Ziga did with the clay. Looks pretty nice, friends. All right, it's day 43 now, 10:51 a.m. The show goes over to Andrew. Andrew is the 51-year-old from Wales, United Kingdom. And he gives us a tour of his hybrid shelter. He's pretty proud of it. It's a TP/lean-to. And then he goes over his daily routine with us and tells us how important it is to stay on the daily routine. And friends, isn't that so true, even in everyday, ordinary life? He's talking about water. Get in the water, boiling the water, preparing the water, firewood, collecting the wood, cutting the wood, stacking the wood, setting and running trap lines. Sticking to the daily routine, the 51-year-old from Wales, UK, says is super important. And he goes out hunting, friends, on a different piece of land on his plot, about 3/4 of a mile from camp, and he finds some fresh moose tracks. And wow, gets turned around, friends. He gets turned around in this small thicket of trees. It's thick in there, friends, and he's going around in circles for hours, friends. He loses his bear spray. Oh my goodness. Finally, he gets out of that thicket, back to camp, warms up in the shelter. And it sounds like Andrew's not going anywhere soon, friends. He sounds pretty stable. All right, friends, day 44, 10:42 a.m. The show goes over to Jax. She's the 40-year-old from New York, USA, and she's outside chanting. Oh my goodness, friends, she's out there chanting and singing. The sun's hitting her in the face, and Jax has 3 rabbits that she wants to smoke. So she starts looking for a place to build a smoker. She wants to build a smoker, and she finds a nice little place, a little dugout, friends. It's dug out in the dirt, and she puts a little shelf in there and builds an outdoor kitchen. It's actually not too bad. Dug out in the ground. Goes down, checks the gill net, gets a fish, friends. And while cleaning that big old whitefish, she showed us 8 more small whitefish in the belly of that thing. And Jax is feeling great, friends. She says she's not only surviving, but she's thriving. Day 45, 10:46 a.m. Show goes back over to Andrew. It's 21 degrees, friends. He grabs his bow and arrow and heads out to check the snares. Andrew has not harvested any food since day 38, friends. He hasn't got any food in 7 days. And he's hungry. He does not want to go to bed hungry tonight, friends. He goes out hunting. He's hiking along and he passes that round boat, friends. Remember that round boat? That coracle that he made? Friends, that thing was useless and now the river's totally froze over, friends. What a waste. All right, friends. Well, he goes out and relief. Andrew gets a rabbit. Wow, another one, friends. 2 hares for Andrew, who hasn't harvested anything in 7 days. Good on Andrew. Okay, it's day 45, friends, 2:01 p.m. And the show goes over to Aaron, the 40-year-old from British Columbia, Canada. And Aaron has snared 25 bunnies since launch. He's sitting by the fire making snares, friends. He's not using his bow and arrow since he missed that moose. He's just been snaring rabbits like they're going out of style, friends. But he needs some fish. He needs some fat, friends. So he goes down and he moves some sets. He moves some of those snares to new locations. And friends, the show shows Aaron trapping another bunny, snaring another hare, snaring another rabbit. It's up to 50 rabbits now, 51 rabbits, friends. And Aaron is back at camp. He's eaten 3 rabbits in 1 day, friends. All right, friends, it is day 48, 10:42 a.m. The show goes over to Nero. He's the 40-year-old from New South Wales, Australia, friends. And he's making snowshoes, sitting in his shelter, fat, dumb, and happy, friends. He's got those beavers, and he's got this fish weir. He's got this location down in the water, friends, that just keeps trapping all these small whitefish. Just keep getting stuck in this small little area. It's like about the size of a bathtub out in the frozen lake or wherever he is, friends. But he goes down there and he harvests 12 more whitefish, friends. They're little guys, but as the water freezes and recedes, he decides to deploy that gill net. Remember, he's got 2 beavers and he's got a bunch of fish, friends. He's just fat, dumb, and happy, Nero, friends. But anyway, he redeploys the gill net, and oh man, that gill net, he spotted some big whitefish, friends. So he's got chances to get some big whitefish, not just these small little guys that the 12 small ones that he harvested. That's probably enough for 1 or 2 meals. But he's talking about some big whitefish in the gill net. Stay tuned. All right, day 48, 1:44 p.m. Show goes over to Jack's. It's 21 degrees, and she's trying to thaw out her gloves. She's sitting in that little shelter, friends, and it is smoky in there, friends, but it's also steam. Zero visibility inside the shelter because of the steam that's coming off her gloves, coming off her clothes. Everything that is thawing out inside her shelter, friends, it's just full of steam and smoke. We learned Jax has food for about 2 more days, friends. All right, day 49, 10:57 a.m. Show goes over to Aaron. He tries ice fishing, friends. He's got plenty of bunnies, friend. Remember that? I told you he's got over 50 bunnies, friends. In 49 days, it's an insane amount of rabbits that guy has trapped. But he's looking for a place to fish, to ice fish, friends. He's got this long pole, and he's going out what he thinks is deeper and deeper into the river. But friends, the river's only about 6 feet deep. And at the farther he goes out, the ice on the river is only about 1.5 inches thick. It's got him It's got him at pucker factor 5, friends. But he's out there trying to find a good location for some ice fishing. Good on Aaron, man, with all those rabbits, friends. All right, day 49, 5:17 p.m. The show goes back over to Ziga. Shows us a big, 3-foot long pike that he caught the day before that he buried under the ice and the snow, friends. It's a giant monster pike. And he shows us that clay chimney, friends. What he's been doing, he's been firing up a fire in there and then letting it cool, letting it get hot, cool. And he's got some bunch of small cracks. So what he's thinking about doing, friends, is he's going to build a long, hot, sustaining fire in there, see if he can't fire that chimney like he's doing a clay pot, friends. So he plans to do that. The show goes to day 50, 11:13 a.m., back over to Nero. And friends, he comes out of that round hobbit door in that teepee shelter and performs a little rave-like little dance, friends. And after that, goes down, checks the gill net. Got a big old whitefish in there on that new place where he deployed it, in that bathtub-sized area where he's been collecting all those pan-sized whitefish. He gets a big whitefish in the gill net out of that small little area. Also, goes down, gets another rabbit, friends, on the snare. He comes up and he's got his big old monster gloves on. He tries to grab the rabbit that's still live on the snare, and the rabbit gets loose, friends. I think the gloves were a mistake. He should have took the gloves off and grabbed that thing and snapped its neck real quick, but it got loose. Friends, the show ends right there. And Nero's down there with that big whitefish. He's saying, "Let's go!" And that's what I'm saying. Let's go, friends. The show ends right there. And what I need y'all to do is let's go on that subscribe button, friends. Get on that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. Give the video a like, friends. I appreciate you stopping by the channel. I appreciate everything you do for the channel. All your views, all your likes, all your shares. Most importantly, all your comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know who you think's going to win this thing. All right, friends. There you have it. That's the official recap, the official show notes of Alone, Season 13, Episode 9, titled Icebound. Please, please don't depart from the faith. And if you haven't already, give your life to Christ. Do it today. Don't wait. And as always, God is good. God is great. I see y'all on the next video. Already got a date.